Hi, my name is Josh Liddy. I didn't plan to speak during general public comment, but I wanted to respond to the very first commenter. I'll tell you what we don't need in the shelters, and that's mandatory home checks and mandatory background checks for all adopted dogs. Any dog that gets adopted, the suggestion is to do a mandatory home and background check. That's ridiculous. Who's going to be in charge of that? The city? Who's going to pay for it? Is the potential adopters going to pay for it? Are they going to say, we want this dog, and then have to wait a week for a background check while that dog sits in the shelter? The last thing we need is more bureaucracy. Do we want to increase and promote the concept of adoptions or make it harder for the general public? The general public are not criminals. 99% of us aren't. They're not, actually. Plus, that process will be completely subjective, judgmental, as you can tell from half the crowd, selectively enforced, potentially discriminatory, and just an outright nightmare. So that's my response to that.
Christina Kirsten, I'm in Los Angeles, 90045. The reason I'm here is because I've been rescuing for over 15 years. I know that the shelter animals need basic protection in the form of background checks, home checks, and follow-ups for each animal when a potential adopter comes in. You wouldn't give your child away to a stranger who pays $100, and this is a very dangerous world. It's not the same world it was 10 years ago. I know that you have a limited budget, but I work with a lot of volunteers. Out in East Valley and South LA, we do the mobile adoptions. I volunteer to get a group of volunteers together to do background checks, home checks, and follow-ups. I think this is just basic protection for innocent animals. If you think that a $100 fee is going to stop an animal abuser from coming in to a shelter where they can have their pick of any docile animal here, you're wrong. And they can say wonderful lies that they're going to give the animal a wonderful place to live, but it could be quite the different. As a rescuer, I know that we hope for the best every time an animal is adopted from the shelter.